Sometimes it isn't the work itself that causes pain, it's the way the work is set up. A workstation that's just a few inches too high, a monitor positioned at the wrong angle, a conveyor belt that makes you twist unnaturally every 5 seconds. These seemingly minor design flaws can quietly cause years of discomfort, strain, and injury. And what's worse, they often go uncorrected, not because no one notices, but because no one thinks they matter, until they do. Let's start with Lydia. Lydia worked at a shipping warehouse outside Warsaw, Poland. Her station was at the end of a packaging line. She stood on a mat, quickly folding, taping, and labeling boxes for distribution. The station had been built for speed, not comfort. The table was fixed at a height that forced Lydia to hunch forward every time she reached for a label. The monitor showing packing specs was slightly off to her left, requiring her to tilt her head dozens of times an hour. There was no footrest, no anti-fatigue setup, and no option to rotate tasks. For the first few months, she didn't say anything. She assumed her neck pain was just from getting older. The lower back tightness was something she'd stretch out at home. But by the end of her second year, Lydia couldn't sleep through the night. Her left arm tingled. She was diagnosed with cervical disc compression and sciatic nerve inflammation, both traced back to her workstation posture. The company had an ergonomics officer on paper, but in practice, production numbers always took priority. Lydia's case became the turning point. Her injury cost months of modified duties and medical leave. Only then did the company bring in specialists to redesign the packaging line. It wasn't just about reducing injury, it was about rebuilding trust. When workers see that action only comes after harm, it sends a message. Your body comes second. Lydia's courage to report and document her pain became a catalyst for change. The company added adjustable tables, footrests, rotating assignments, and even built-in morning check-ins to ask, "How does your station feel today?" This story plays out in hundreds of workplaces every day. From offices to factories to healthcare settings, workers are being physically set up to fail, not through malice, but through neglect. Through a belief that if no one is shouting, nothing must be wrong. Poor workstation design is an invisible hazard. It doesn't make noise, it doesn't spark alarms, but it wears people down. Slowly, day by day. Consider Emil, a dental assistant in Sweden. He spent most of his time bent sideways to hand tools to the dentist, often reaching across the patient to do so. The cabinetry was outdated, the chair wasn't adjustable. The tools were organized for the dentist's convenience, not his. After 3 years, he developed chronic upper back pain and shoulder instability. He loved his job, but his body didn't. A visiting ergonomist reconfigured the station in less than an hour. A rolling cart, a new swivel arm, a repositioned light. The pain didn't disappear overnight, but it finally had a chance to heal. Emil's experience triggered a review of 12 other dental assistant stations and revealed that over half of them carried similar risks. That's the power of design. Design influences behavior. Design influences fatigue. Design influences pain. Yet so many organizations see workstation setup as an afterthought. They'll invest in new tools, new software, new training, but not in a $60 adjustable monitor arm, or a $100 chair upgrade, or a consultation with someone trained in human factors. But those small investments save thousands, not just in injury claims or lost time, but in talent retention, in morale, in trust. In the Philippines, a call center with over 300 employees noticed a pattern: high turnover in the first 90 days. Most new hires cited discomfort and exhaustion. The company assumed it was the stress of customer service, but a deeper look revealed poorly configured desks, stiff chairs, and headsets that caused neck strain. After a redesign of the entire floor, including standing desk options and better lighting, early turnover dropped by 40%. Employees stayed longer, performance improved, and managers saw fewer sick day requests. Meanwhile, in a US laboratory, a technician developed chronic wrist inflammation from using a microscope that was just slightly too low. Years later, after a workplace assessment, they added a custom armrest and angled platform. The change cost less than $500. But for that technician, it was the difference between full disability and a full career. And in a bakery in New Zealand, a dough-kneading workstation was adjusted by only 5 centimeters after several workers complained of forearm and shoulder fatigue. That minor adjustment resulted in a 60% reduction in reported strain over the next quarter. Productivity remained unchanged, but pain levels dropped significantly. It's not just about the equipment, it's about giving workers the autonomy to adjust their spaces, to speak up when something doesn't feel right. And to expect that comfort isn't a luxury, it's a safety requirement. In the UK, a civil engineering firm started a Setup Friday ritual. Every last Friday of the month, workers take 15 minutes to assess and adjust their workstations with guidance from a trained ergonomic lead. The payoff? Fewer sick days and an increased sense of ownership over their work environment. There's a common thread in every example. When people are given the chance to fix the setup, they protect their future. But when the setup stays rigid, people become the flexible component and eventually they snap. So here's the challenge. Look around your workspace. Look at where you sit, stand, twist, lift, type, or lean. Are you making your body fit the station, or is the station designed to fit you? Ask yourself what part of your body feels tired before your shift ends. Are you rotating your tasks, or repeating motions hour after hour? Can you reposition something today that makes your tomorrow less painful? Because when you're set up to fail, pain is the only outcome. Let's shift that. Let's design for safety. Let's build for bodies, not just for speed. If you've ever been injured because of how your station was set up, share your story. What change made the biggest difference? What advice would you give someone new to your job? This is how we learn. This is how we prevent. This is how we stay safe. Stay thoughtful, stay supported, stay safe.